Welcome back to Up Close. New Jersey, one of the bluest states in the country. In fact, the last time New Jersey elected a Republican to the Senate, Richard Nixon was president back in 1972. However, pharmaceutical executive turned first-time politician Bob Hugin is trying to change that. He's running against two-term U.S. Senator Bob Menendez, and he's closer than many people ever thought he would be. Mr. Hugin joins us now. Welcome to Up Close.
Great to be with you, Bill.
So are you surprised that you're running, not like 40 points behind, 30 points behind?
No, I think a dead heat is pretty good right now, but we're focused on November the 6th is what counts.
Why do you want to be a U.S. Senator? With all due respect, you're a wealthy man, wealthy pharmaceutical executive. Why do you want to be a U.S. Senator?
Bill, I'm living the American dream. I was born in Jersey City, raised in Union City, and served in my country in the Marine Corps and been successful in business. But my wife and I last fall, people approached us and said, something's wrong here. This is not the right role model for your children and grandchildren. And we were, frankly, morally offended that Bob Menendez was going to be reelected virtually unopposed. And so we just thought that people in New Jersey deserve better, but they also deserve a choice. And that's why we got in, to make sure that people have a choice.
But the Republican Party didn't put anyone up with any experience. It's your first time running for office, correct?
Right.
You're a former pharmaceutical executive. We'll get to that in a minute. You also worked for J.P. Morgan, so you have financial experience. And
7 years in the Marine Corps,
yep,
serving my country.
All right, but why do you want to go into politics?
Only because it's bad for democracy that you have a senior elected official, the senior elected official in New Jersey, that was found to violate federal law, abuse the power of his office, disgrace the Senate, and frankly, 25 years in Washington, 16 years with a Democratic president, and New Jersey's dead last. We get the least back from Washington than any state in the country. The people of New Jersey deserve better.
New York and Connecticut have the same problem, that same conundrum. California has the same conundrum, and which is making the tax reform bill that was passed, which was a tax hike for most middle-class people, even worse. What's your position on that tax thing? A lot of Republicans voted for it. A lot of Republicans in New York and New Jersey did not vote for that.
Well, Senator Menendez was on the Finance Committee and sat on his hands while that happened, did nothing. If he could have been the 51st vote or whatever it would have been, maybe we could have had a bipartisan solution, having the cap higher, 15,000 or 20,000. I couldn't have voted for the bill with a $10,000 cap on state and local tax deductions. When you're already 50, we're last. New Jersey's last. Forget about Connecticut and New York and California. We're dead last. And you take a subsidy away from the state, something should be given in return for that. So I couldn't have voted for that.
To be fair, Mr. Menendez says he fought hard against the tax plan.
He fought hard against it, did nothing. He could have been part of the bipartisan solution. Bill,
all the Democrats voted against it. The Republicans voted for it.
Right, and that's bad. That's what's wrong with our country today. We need independent people who are going to go to Washington to solve the people's problems, not put party and politics ahead of the people. We need bipartisan solutions. It's not that complicated.
What would you do if you're elected on November 6th? What would you do to change this tax plan, which has been, is going to be, people in New Jersey are going to be shocked when they start doing their taxes on April.
Well, Bill, it's bad, but it's like 62% of New Jerseyans are going to get a federal income tax reduction, about 29% no change to federal taxes. But the 9% that are going to have that big tax increase have the economic mobility to leave the state. And we're already the fastest rate of outmigration of the 18 to 34-year-olds who have the skills and aptitudes for new technology, applying information technology to the economy for jobs of the future, and you lose the capital of the higher earner. It's bad outlook for jobs. But I think the first thing I'm going to do when I'm elected on November 6th, I'm going to call up Governor Murphy to say, listen, we don't agree on a lot of politics and policies, but you're the governor. Bring the two senators together, bring all the new elected Congress people together and say, let's stop bickering on a couple of things. Let's identify the top 2 or 3 things that we as New Jerseyans should put the people of New Jersey first and work together on. We have to put the people of New Jersey first. We're getting too much of the short end of the stick for far too long.
I read somewhere you described yourself as a Trump supporter. You voted for President Trump?
I voted for him, yes.
But he's not campaigning for you.
No. I think in 2016, the country was stagnating, and we needed disruption. But now we have dysfunction. We need to send independent people who are going to fight for the best interests of the people, not put party and politics ahead of people.
You're among those Republicans, probably half in the country, who want to keep a distance from President Trump. You, as I said in the beginning of this segment, 1972 was the last time New Jerseyites sent a Republican to the U.S. Senate, and so it's a kind of a conundrum. You're a Republican, you push yourself as independent, and you're keeping your distance from President Trump.
Yeah, I think this is about what's best for New Jersey, right? So it's Bob Menendez versus Bob Hugin. What are we going to do to make the life of New Jerseyans more affordable, how to make the infrastructure better, how to make health care more affordable and accessible? There's lots of issues we should be working on this country in a bipartisan way. I've always been independent my entire life. First in my family to go to college, the only person in my college class to go in the Marine Corps. I went to a company, Celgene, when it had 6 weeks of cash left, and everyone said, don't go there. I've taken the risks in my life. I've always worked with others to achieve results, and that's what we need in Washington. Independent thinkers who are going to serve the people.
I want to talk about Celgene in a few minutes, but I first want to talk about one of the litmus tests, I think, maybe for politicians going forward, new politicians anyway. Brett Kavanaugh, how would you have voted if you had been in the U.S. Senate?
Yeah, all along, Bill, I said my view on judicial nominations should be, generally the president should get the people should defer to the president if they're qualified, high-intellect jurists. My only litmus test is that judges should not be legislating. If you want to legislate, go run for office. But within the context of being experienced and intellectually strong to be able to do the job of a Supreme Court justice or a federal judge, that should be the litmus test. Even if somebody agrees with me 100% of the time, I don't want them legislating from the bench. And the other thing is, I think sexual misconduct, on the other hand, is extremely serious, and we should investigate any allegations of them. And that's why I was one of the first people to say, let's have a full FBI investigation.
Was that a full investigation, 4 days?
Well, I have to tell you, I don't know. That's why I called for transparency, and you can go right away. I said, let's disclose it. I'm sorry, the stakes are high. The FBI is a great institution, and we should believe the FBI, but transparency is a good thing.
People know you, not this way, but they know you because you've taken out millions of dollars of $15 million of ads, TV ads, blasting Senator Menendez. He had 2 hung juries. The federal government threw out the charges, so he's not guilty of that. He was not found guilty of that.
No, that's not true, Bill, right? The Senate Ethics Committee, bipartisan.
I'm talking about criminally. The criminal charges were dropped.
No, right, but the Senate Ethics Committee, bipartisan, with Washington's best lawyers, definitive. He violated federal law. Not may have violated federal law. The Senate Ethics Committee, bipartisan, Washington's best lawyers, he violated federal law, abused the power of his office, disgraced the Senate. And his self-proclaimed best friend, 67 felony convictions for defrauding Medicare. And what does Senator Menendez do? Lobby to expand that fraud. And his other lobbying great efforts, bringing visas for this married doctor, Florida resident, girlfriends from different countries.
He makes the claim against you that you took your companies, made it very successful, Celgene, as a pill for curing cancer, for one cancer specifically, right. And made it very difficult for any other company to get generic drugs made from this and cost cancer patients a whole lot of money. That's his charge against you.
No, lies and mischaracterizations. Let's remember, Celgene has transformed the face of multiple cancers, from a terminal disease to a chronic disease, and because that company walked the walk every day, including 2017 when it reinvested 45% of its revenue back into research, into science, so we'd have new cures for medicine, is on the cusp of curing multiple cancers. And remember, nearly 90% of all patients paid no more than a $50 copay for Celgene's medicines. That company has walked the walk every day. It's a treasure, created thousands of high-paying jobs in New Jersey, high-tech jobs. That company is an icon in the fight against cancer. I joined it when there was 6 weeks of cash left, and so I was paid
No, no question you saved the company, but a lot of people have criticized, President Trump criticized the company and you for making it so expensive for cancer patients to have these pharmaceuticals.
Listen, that company has walked the walk, invested so much, virtually twice the industry average, back into research. We need better cures for cancer than we have. It's not acceptable where we've advanced it, and the company's a great company.
Bob Hugin, good luck. The latest poll, Quinnipiac has you 11, others say within 2 points.
It's a dead heat, Bill. November 6th, we're going to win.
Nice meeting you.
Great to meet you. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. Bob Hugin from New Jersey. Coming up, we talk politics again with ABC News political director Rick Klein. Stay with us.
Customize your own breaking news alerts. Get the latest stories, weather, and traffic in your area in real time. Get the new and improved ABC.